Hello, my desktop publishing students. Anyways, this will be your first video that I've done on databases. So I opened up the database called XX Project6 and I've saved it with my name and the current date for me, and you can choose your name and the current date for you. So the very first thing, the database comes up here. Now I put personnel database in red and last name, first name, hire date in red. There's no need for it. Could have been black. I just did it so it stands out for you. So that's all. So this is the name of the database. These are the field names here. So that's the only reason that I put them in red. So what I want you to do now is that we have to define the database. Now the database always has to have headings in it. Okay, so you've got to have A8, which is your first heading. Hold down the shift key and click in the last one, and that's the extent of your database. All right, so don't include the name, just the field names here. Now when you do that, did you see database come up? Because once Excel automatically uses the default name database, so that's fine. So now go ahead and click in a blank cell. Now click on the drop down, choose database, and you see it right there. Okay, it's all selected and you say yes, it's 100%. But I'm going to go over it again with you. I'm going to click here for a second. Now if I went to, and I want you to know this, if I went to formulas, there's name manager. If someday you made a mistake, okay, and you say I defined it wrong, I want to get rid of it, I can go here and delete it. Are you sure you want to? Yes. All right, and close. Now watch. If I click on my drop down, there's nothing there. I wiped it out. So we're going to do it again now. Okay, I want to click in A8, hold down the shift key, and click here in I-23. All right, click here and now type database. All right, and press enter. Now go and check it. Click in a blank cell, click on your drop down, database. Is it selected right? Okay, so you know how to select it, and remember you learned it when you did tables with your if statement. So this is the only difference, is that you include the field names. Okay, so now what I want you to do, you've got that piece worked out, that's good, and now we can sort it. Usually they tell you, and again if you had to create a database, you pick out the field that you always want to look on. Now this database was set up on hire date. Okay, so therefore if I went to the data tab and I said sort A to Z, I've got 1996 down to 2015. If I go Z to A, I've got 2015 down to 1996, and that's how this database was set up. A to Z, there's how it was set up. But you said for today I want to sort on the last name. So I'm going to go here in cell A9. We're going to sort it A to Z, alphabetical order, Daniel Groen Hatta. And if I click on Z to A, we're going, from Z down to A. And now I want to go back A to Z. All right, now if I want to return the database to its original, I'm going to click in cell C9 and I'm going to click on A to Z. That brings my database right back to the way it was. So always think about, if you have to design a database, what field will we always work on? Most times they work on last name, but there are other things, and that's why I showed you the hire date as the one that we worked on here. Okay, now we can also sort on more than one field at once. Okay, so click in a cell here, it doesn't matter what cell, and now do you see this big sort button? Click on this big sort button, and do you see that you have levels that we can add? So the first thing I want to sort on is I want to sort on the first of all, I want to check, make sure yours says my data has headers, meaning that you have the field names. Okay, so say that my data has headers. Okay, and I want to select by gender, so I click here and I choose gender, and A to Z is good. Now I'm going to add a level, and I want to sort by education. Okay, so I'm going to choose education. Then I want to sort at a level, and I want to sort on salary. Okay, now if I add a level by mistake, then all I have to do is say delete the level and put it back the way I want it, and I wanted the salary smallest to the largest. Alright, so if I say OK now, you see that I have all the females first, because F comes before M, and then the M for males. So it was sorted on there, and now the next thing that we sorted on was education. So take a look. You see all the Bachelor of Sciences, you see all the Master of Sciences, and the PhD for the females. All right. Now for the males, you see all the Bachelor of Sciences, Honors Science, PhD. All right. Then if you look further, we sorted on salary. So look at the Bachelor of Sciences, and it goes 52, 66, 66, 77, 86. Now the Masters, smallest to the largest, 71, 82, 87, and the PhD, there it is. If you look at the male Bachelor of Science, 43, 69, 69, Honors, 58, and PhD 92 and 98. So you did 3 sorts there. So very easy to do that. Okay. All right. So this time, now I'm going to go to cell G9. Okay. And I want to put subtotals in here, and you'll see how easy this is. So first of all, I want to sort A to Z. Okay. So A to Z. So now do you see how I put all the admin first, A, computer second, marketing, production, R&D, research and design. All right, so I've got them in the order that I want them to be in. Now, you're on your data tab and go all the way over here. Do you see subtotal? And click on subtotal. All right, now it says at each change in. Well, I sorted on department, so that's where I want the totals to go. So I want to say at each change in the department. Okay, at each change in the department, I want to sum right now. Okay, and now the only one that well, you could sum age, but that wouldn't make sense. So the only one that makes sense to sum on is the salary, because it's got values. You can't sum text. And note that it says replace current subtotals. All right, so I want you to watch here. And so now I'm going to say OK. And now, do you see admin total, computer total, marketing total, production total, research and design total, and the grand total? That's how fast it was. It's just like a piece of handy wrap goes over top of it, and it does it. Now look up here, level 1. If somebody asked you, said what's the grand total of the salaries for this database, there it is. If they asked you, now you could expand it by clicking on the plus sign, and you see everything. So I'm going to go back to level 1. Now this time I choose level 2. Okay, and do you see each department total? Admin, you see admin, computer, marketing, production, R&D, and the grand total. Maybe that's the information somebody else wants. Or if I clicked on the plus sign here, I see only the computer. If I click on the plus sign here, I see only R&D. If I want to see all of them, I click on level 3, and there you have all of them. All right, so now watch. Okay, I'm going to go back to subtotal. All right, and now I still want at each change in department, but this time I'm going to use the word average. Okay, word average. And I still want average salary, and it says replace the current subtotal. So I want you to see what's going to happen. I'm going to say OK. Now do you see that all my totals are replaced with average? So watch again. Level 1, grand average. Level 2, there's all the averages. Level 3, there's all the departments, but they're averages. And you said, well, I want to see the sum. Okay, so we're going to go back to subtotal. Now, this time you said you want to see sum, but we want to see both sum and average. So we're not going to say replace. Okay, you saw the replace. I'm not going to say replace. Now I'm going to say OK. Now take a look. You have admin total, admin average, computer total, computer average, and so on down. watch, we have 4 levels this time. Okay, so first of all, grand total, grand average. Second level, you have all the averages, but still the grand total and the grand average. Then you have the totals and the averages all the way down, still the grand total and the grand average. Then level, and you can still click on a plus sign. That's easy. You can show whatever you want to show. All right, and then level 4 shows you everything. Okay, so quite easy, not a hard thing to do. Now you said, well, what if I go back to subtotals and this time I don't want sum, maybe I want find the maximum. Okay, so click on max. We're not replacing, so that means I'm going to add 2. So click on OK. Now you have 5 levels. Let's look here. Level 1, grand max, grand total, grand average. Level 2, you see all the averages, but still the grands. Then you see total and average with all the grands. Then 4, max, total, and average, and still grand max, grand total, grand average. And number 5 shows you everything. So very nice to show whatever you want. And now the beauty about this is that you go back to subtotal and you say remove all. You printed what you wanted, remove all, and there's your database right back to normal. Now that is nice. Okay, so that's what we wanted there. That worked very well, and you'll like that feature. Okay. All right, so now this time we're going to filter our database, and we're going to use the filter button. Okay. So first of all, what I want you to do is you see your data tab again, and make sure you're in your database somewhere. And now, do you see the picture here of the filter? Okay, so click on it. And now do you see the little gray arrows going down? All right, so we want to go for the drop down for age. So click on the drop down for age. And now do you see number filters? Go to number filters. And we want to say, and look at this, it gives you everything. Does not equal, greater than or equal to, everything that you want. Very, very easy. So say greater than or equal to, and I want to put in 30. Okay, so I'm going to put in 30 here, and I'm going to click OK. All right, so now I have all the people who were greater than or equal to 30. So if you were 30, you got included from over that. Now, do you see the little filter on here? It tells you that you have got criteria on there. All right, so now this time you say, okay, I want to find all the males. So go to gender. Now, you see where it says select all here? Take the check mark out. None of them are selected. And we want to find all the males. So click on the M for males and say okay. And now you've got all the males who are more than or equal to 30. All right, now let's go to the salary. So click on salary and go to number filters, and you want to find all the ones that are greater than, and put in 60,000. Now, no dollar signs, no commas, just the value. All right, and say OK. And there, those are the males who are more than 30, and there's their salaries. So you checked out the database and you want to see who you might be interested in, and you've got 4 records to look at. All right, now I'm going to have to stop here because I've only got a minute left. So what I want to do is we're going to go to your filter button here, and do you see the word clear? So we're going to clear. So I cleared all the criteria. There's no filters on any of the drop downs here. All right, I'm going to stop here and then I'll go into video 2.